the Weedsman Podcast. ChristopherMedia.net.
There's a new Home Depot now open on Maurice Avenue in Maspeth. And as home improvement projects go, this is a big one. Use the product locator on our app for an in-store map to find what you need fast. And check out our new pickup lockers. They make online shopping a breeze. Of course, one thing's not new, our everyday low prices. The Home Depot, now open near Maurice Avenue and Long Island Expressway in Maspeth. And always open at HomeDepot.com. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Estar adelante de mis pagos mensuales siempre fue un desafío y no creía que hubiera otra forma de manejar mi dinero. Solía pagar cargos por cada cheque de cajero y giro postal, hasta que escuché sobre Chase Secure Banking. Ahora puedo pagar servicios, cobrar cheques y enviar dinero, todo por un cargo mensual por servicio de $4.95. Así que decidí darle una segunda oportunidad a la banca.
Visita chase.com/Secure Banking para abrir tu cuenta sin depósito mínimo. Chase, logra más con lo que tienes.
Se aplican cargos por ATMs que no pertenecen a Chase. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. miembro de FDIC.
ChristopherMedia.net.
Hey, what's going on?
What are you guys up to?
Oh, little weed, you know.
It's the Weedsman Podcast Nugget.
Zippity what?
Ready to drop the bass? Let's drop the bass.
Whoop-de-doo. What does it all mean?
All the random stuff that didn't fit in Friday's show, you'll find here.
Oh, okay.
Hey, man. You got a joint?
Got a little bit of reefer smell on your boy?
What that mean?
Please, just give me my weed, all right?
I can't wait until this election is over so I can get my email inbox back. Get my email inbox back. That's a clumsy phrase.
Well, just talk with my mom. You know, we're having at least election month this year. It won't just be election day. I think we're just going to be very reminiscent of 2000.
Yes. Yeah, you're talking about from November, what is it, 4th, 6th, something around there?
Yeah. But I think you're
from there on.
All the election spam.
Well, yeah, but they won't be asking for money anymore, right? I'm sure the DNC will still hit me up, but it won't be like 10 emails a day from everyone. It's because I gave Biden's campaign like $10.
Oh, see, that's how they get you.
I didn't have a lot of money to toss around. I was like, and I kept going, the campaign looks like it's got enough money. It's doing well enough. But I felt like I wanted to do something, right? Mm-hmm. It was one of those where, like, Trump just really pissed me off that day. And I was like, fine. Here, Biden, have $10 just because you're not Trump.
And then smash cut to...
Oh, you got money.
Oh, well, I have friends that need money since you got money.
Yeah, they were sending out all these emails about... They were asking for $7. Like, if you can afford $7, I was like, okay, I can afford $7. That's a good number. Like, I'm sure a lot of research went into that, into finding what that perfect number was going to be. And it worked for me because I was like, yeah, 7? Sure. Why not? I'm not going to miss it. And then when I got on there, I was like, all right, I'll just bump it up to an even 10.
That's why it's 7, I bet.
Right, exactly. And I'm sure a lot of people are doing that too. And then I get an email. It's like, we're kindly asking for $20. I'm like,
whoa, Joe.
Look, I'm sure these emails go to a lot of people who can afford it.
You started at 7. I bumped it up to 10. Now you want 20?
Yeah. He's like the homeless guy who gets a peek in your wallet, and he's like, hey, wait, you got some bigger bills in there.
Is this how President DC is going to go for you, Joe? Is this what taxes are going to be like under you, Joe?
And it's kind of always how Democrats do it. They kind of have to slow roll stuff.
Yeah, they do it all at once.
They have to sneak it in.
They're never getting elected again.
Yeah, I keep thinking like, one more month.
No,
but I'm like, nope,
not
at least
year.
2.
We're rolling into it's going to be the holidays are going to be awesome this year.
This is like
this with coronavirus. Oh yeah.
Remember before Prime shipping, when you would order stuff as a kid, let's say you wanted some Magic Sand and you opened up your copy of Transformers comic book, and in the back there's an ad for Magic Sand, and it's only, $4.99, and you saved up some allowance and had, a couple bucks for mowing the lawn or something, and you got your mom to take you to the Kroger to get a money order, and you filled the thing out and you sent it in, and you waited 6 to 8 weeks, and then you got it, right? and then it's finally over. Like you waited, like that wait is excruciating. Now it's like you got your magic sand and it's just feces. It's like not even the right thing. It's just like it's just shit. Like somebody just pranked you. You waited 6 to 8 weeks for a box of shit. And now you got to send it back and hope that they send you the right thing. And you got to wait another 6 to 8 weeks. That's what this election is going to feel like. Getting a box of shit mailed to you when you try to get some magic sand.
Pretty much.
And it may all work out in the end. You know, maybe someday. In the near future, you'll get your shipment of magic sand and it'll all seem like nothing. It'll all be in the rear view. You won't even remember that. Well, I'm
like it'll show up.
Shit would probably
you've forgotten about your magic sand, and then one day it just shows up.
Yeah. Well, wouldn't that be a dream if I could just enter some kind of state where I was like, I don't. None of this even matters. And like one day I'll just read the paper and it'll go, oh, we got a new president. Oh, it's Joe Biden. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe I'll get myself a hammer to hit myself over the head with on election day so I can forget all this shit. I just long for the days with leaders competent enough where I could forget about them, which I know is a danger in democracy, but it's also a luxury.
Yes.
You know, there's a reason this is only every 4 years. We can't handle this all year round.
Although the last 2 cycles, it's been every 2. Like what, they started the debates at the beginning of last year?
Yep. I mean, there has to be a limit to it. Like with holidays, you know, the sales and the decorations and stuff start encroaching earlier and earlier into the year. The presidential elections start showing up earlier and earlier. There's got to be a limit to it. At a certain point, somebody's going to be like, no, shut the fuck up about that shit.
Well, unless they're going to turn off the internet to the world, I don't think that's ever happening. As long as there's people out there looking for clicks and eyeballs.
Yep. Everyone wants to get a jump on everyone else. And people will click on it because they want to get a jump on their neighbors. Oh, I got to be more informed. I got to get the Prime Day sales. I got to get mine before they get theirs.
Yeah.
People.
This type of shit happens all the time. You got to get.
You know, I don't want to get too much into the political. This is not the right podcast for this, but I do want to say that this is going to be a really rough winter. And, you know, in my neighborhood, I'm seeing the effects of people starting to lose their shit. You know,
where they get a winter fireworks supply.
Right? Yeah, they'll be doing them indoors. You just see their basement lighting up.
Yeah, seeing a fountain going in their living room.
No, I mean there was a huge fight, and the cops came earlier tonight, just like an hour ago. I was looking out my window watching the circus, and there's this like roving pack of teens, and there's this group of girls, and they always fight with each other, and then the girls go to their house, and then their dad comes out. And instead of being a dad and cooling things off, he starts getting in everyone's face and calling them motherfuckers and little bitches, and you better get out of here. And I'm like, wow. So you showed up to solve this situation, quote unquote, by just pouring some gasoline on this fire.
Yeah, you're supposed to be the adult in this situation.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, but that's how we are now. Well, not you and I personally, but you know, it's just everyone's got to settle everyone's hash now. That's the new way of the world.
Yeah, I don't understand it. His girls are still outside. He's arguing with them. These little punks are getting in his face and acting like they're going to swing on him or something. And I'm like, I don't understand how you just don't go, girls, get the fuck in the house. And if you guys don't get off my property, I'm calling the cops.
Yeah.
And then you go inside, right? What are they going to do? If they don't get off the property, the cops show up and they make them leave. Yeah. And that's it. Not a fucking 20-minute argument. Literally, for 20 minutes, there's at least 20 to 25 people all arguing out in the street. Bunch of teens. The dad comes out, starts bitching at everyone. Then the neighbor lady down the street comes down and starts yelling at the man who's calling everyone a pussy because I've got girls out here and you can't. I'm like, oh my God. Look, everyone, just get it out of your fucking system. Right? I yelled out the window just because I was like, I feel left out.
I want to yell too.
Yeah. Oh, and last night, it was the neighbor across the street, directly across the street from me. Hardly ever hear peep out of this guy. Comes out, mows his lawn. That's it. doesn't hang out outside. I don't see people going over there. And I've noticed a couple different houses on my block that are like that. These are things that you notice when you're over 40 and you're at home all day.
Yeah.
And there's certainly the thought that, like, man, these people, this must be rough. You know, these are probably people who are taking this pandemic seriously. Maybe they have pre-existing conditions. They're probably older and they're isolating, and it's driving them nuts. And my neighbor across the street hit his breaking point last night, apparently. Actually, I recorded some of them to play for you. Let me cue this up. I don't know if this is going to... I didn't have time to strip out all the noise and compress this, so it's going to be kind of faint, but I think you'll be able to hear this.
Any questions or no answers? Come on. Call the police. 911. Come on, it's too easy.
Can you hear any of that?
Yeah.
911.
What's...
Call for help. Call for help. 911. 911. Call for help. Come on. 4-letter word. Help. Help me. Please help me.
What's...
Please help.
Does he need help?
Please help me. Help me. Help. Please help me. Help.
I think he starts going into a Cartman there.
What is that?
He was just on his porch yelling, and he was like, somebody stop me. Like, what are you going to do about it? Just nonsense. Call the cops. You know, he was like, I think he was expecting the cops to come and show up and tell him to shut the fuck up and go to bed, you drunk asshole. And maybe it was just so that he would have somebody to interact with. I don't know. You know, like I said, I don't know. I'm assuming a lot, of course, but I don't think it's crazy to assume that this guy maybe hasn't talked to many people in a while.
Did the police ever show up? Did he get his wish?
No, that shit in my neighborhood just doesn't warrant. It's just, you got to raise the bar, buddy. You better get out and fucking rev a motor vehicle and do some donuts and threaten somebody or brandish a weapon. Like, just screaming at 2 a.m. is not enough to get anybody to, like, do anything around here. They just close their windows.
Wow. No, just a drunk guy on his porch.
Yeah.
Everybody go back to bed.
He does go out, so he's yelling more about help.
Help. Find out who your friends are. The damn sure wasn't none of you, was it? I tried to tell you, but you just wouldn't listen. I'll sing you a song and be lonely. Doesn't bother you.
He'll sing you a song and be lonely.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't bother you.
Yeah, it's coming through clear as day over here.
Does it bother you that I'm lonely, Joe? The man in the moon? Does it bother you, Joe?
Do you know if any of your neighbors are named Joe?
I didn't ask for any of this. Enemy has to be drugged into your story. You can have my book.
No, I don't. He didn't seem to be. He was yelling at Joe as if he was in the moon. And
You know how to turn a page?
right here.
Read the goddamn book. Read my book.
What, did he tuck her out? Is that his grand finale?
He's got a couple more. Like,
tell my story.
It's a couple more minutes.
You don't know what it's like to be me. None of you. I didn't grow up here. I was born here.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a long night when he said that. I was like, oh shit, he's going to yell his whole life story.
And I love you, Joe.
Oh.
I don't care what they think. I don't care about what they say.
Was it coming out?
I love you, Joe. I told you that night.
Oh.
When you made me crazy, Joe. You made me crazy, Joe.
Oh, he's talking to Biden?
Thanks, Bob Seger.
What?
Nugget.
Whoa. Hard left.
How about you, Ellen Morandi?
Says Friends Band.
I don't know.
How about you, Robert Cole? How about you, Bobby Ruiz? Tommy Kansky? Jim Lusky? Don't you remember all the names?
You do, apparently.
I do.
Yeah.
I remember all the names. All of you are the ones who have forgotten. You have forgotten. Get some fucking sleep.
You can't, asshole. You're screaming on your porch.
And slams the door.
Wow.
Yeah, I think, no, I mean, who knows what to make of those ramblings, but then again, he wasn't really rambling. Like, nobody knows why he was yelling those things out into the night, but his, I think his message got across, right?
It was like your own little Ray and Pete episode, right?
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking of. Ray and Pete, the two homosexual males that lived with each other, and the neighbors recorded them.
It's 4 a.m. It's time to get up for the morning.
If nobody out there has had a local morning DJ that hopped on the Ray and Pete train back in the 90s,
just Google Ray and Pete.
Yeah, just Google it.
And set aside a good couple hours.
It's addictive.
I want him declared a nuisance to the community, and I want him taken away.
One of them that's all they do is they get drunk and they fight with each other. One of them, the police call was like one of the best.
Man.
But yeah, look, I honestly, it was kind of affecting on a couple levels. Like, it was kind of scary just to have a crazy man yelling out in the middle of the night. And, my daughter was over, and I was worried that she was going to wake up and get freaked out. And I was like, well, what if he actually is saying call 911 because he wants suicide by cop? What if he's got a weapon? I don't know. But it was also sad because, what happened? You don't know what exactly happened, but you can infer enough that, like, he's been locked up, hasn't gone out or seen a lot of people like most of us, and maybe he had a kind of secluded life, and he got shit-faced one night and all poured out. Just happened to be out onto the street.
That's what I want. Is this a mental episode? Is this I just got into the bourbon too much? It's the first time he's done acid in 25 years. Like, it would...
Could be any one of those things, but I mean, ultimately, it's that he had some shit pent up, right?
Did he have a friend who was like, hey, have you ever tried meth? Next thing you know, he's screaming on the porch at 2 a.m.
But when he was screaming about Joe and being crazy for Joe and referencing that, like, that night that apparently that it all came out, like, that's, I don't know.
It means he came out.
Well, it's sad. It was kind of moving. Like, I went from what the fuck to, oh my God, this is hilarious, to this is getting kind of scary, to holy fuck, this is kind of sad.
And apparently no one in your neighborhood just close the window because it's October. He'll be done in a bit.
Yep.
Well, I hope he got a hold of Joe.
I think Joe's dead. He talks about Joe and the man in the moon kind of as they're the same person.
It's like Buzz Aldrin yelling at the moon.
Yeah, I walked on your face.
Yeah.
The Weedsman Podcast. ChristopherMedia.net.
There's a new Home Depot now open on Maurice Avenue in Maspeth. And as home improvement projects go, this is a big one. Use the product locator on our app for an in-store map to find what you need fast. And check out our new pickup lockers. They make online shopping a breeze. Of course, one thing's not new, our everyday low prices. The Home Depot, now open near Maurice Avenue and Long Island Expressway in Maspeth. And always open at homedepot.com. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Estar adelante de mis pagos mensuales siempre fue un desafío y no creía que hubiera otra forma de manejar mi dinero. Solía pagar cargos por cada cheque de cajero y giro postal, hasta que escuché sobre Chase Secure Banking. Ahora puedo pagar servicios, cobrar cheques y enviar dinero, todo por un cargo mensual por servicio de $4.95. Así que decidí darle una segunda oportunidad a la banca.
Visita chase.com/Secure Banking para abrir tu cuenta sin depósito mínimo. Chase, logra más con lo que tienes.
Se aplican cargos por ATMs que no pertenecen a Chase. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. miembro de FDIC.
There's a new Home Depot now open on Maurice Avenue in Maspeth. And as home improvement projects go, this is a big one. Use the product locator on our app for an in-store map to find what you need fast. And check out our new pickup lockers. They make online shopping a breeze. Of course, one thing's not new, our everyday low prices. The Home Depot, now open near Maurice Avenue and Long Island Expressway in Maspeth. And always open at homedepot.com. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
ChristopherMedia.net. The Weedsman Podcast.
You want to see like a whole 2-hour documentary of crazy people? You want to see shit that trumps The Vow on its insane level? I watched this documentary. Actually, I'm sorry, I didn't watch the whole documentary. I couldn't. I'll probably go back to it. It's one of those things that you can just probably dip into and when you're really stoned and just want something to watch. But I'm trying to find it. Where's my... These streaming services need to have a separate list that just shows you everything that you watched.
Yeah. Be handy.
Yeah.
If you're going to mine my information, at least scroll it back to me.
Yeah. I got to find the name of this documentary. It was so random. God, Amazon, obviously your algorithm sucks because you suggested this to me once already.
My wife had that happen. She had something suggested to her and she had it set aside and it took her forever to go fucking find it again.
I don't know. Maybe they pulled this doc because there's too much truth. Maybe it cut too close to the bone.
What was it about?
This documentary was about how it was called something about the government's secret space program. For some reason, it starts with the nuclear test when they were testing A-bombs trying to end World War II, right?
Was Indiana Jones in this one?
No.
Was he in the fridge?
And they start off with with Oppenheimer. He had the famous quote, "I have become death, destroyer of worlds," which was from some, like, I think it was Hindu text that he was quoting. Because the fable is that he said that when during the test, like, he watched the mushroom cloud and said that. And what they actually played in this documentary was a piece of interview footage that looked contemporary, probably soon after this development of the A-bomb, and he was talking about how that's what he was thinking, that's what was going through his head when he was witnessing the test. Is that quote from Vishnu? Vishnu appears to some other character in this story in his weird form, his full, like, multi-armed, blue skin, tongue rolling out of the mouth. That type of shit. And he shows like that form and says, "I have become death," or "I am." Like, the actual quote is, "I am become death." I don't know why it's "I am become death." I think a lot of people misquote it as "I have become death" or something like that, only because it makes more sense. Anyway, they start there and just go off the rails, like, immediately, because they're talking about how, like, the reason that he was thinking of that phrase is because the aliens that landed on Earth thousands and thousands of years ago that were actually, like the Hindus, that what they believed were gods were actually aliens, is what he was saying. These conspiracy theorists. Mm-hmm. And that was tied into more just like something that, happened to trigger a piece of text in Oppenheimer's brain, more so that he was using that because he knew that there was like a connection to all this technology that they were using and the aliens. So they were talking about all these Hindus, stories about their gods. They would fly around in spaceships and they had lasers and all this shit. I'm like, yeah, because the people writing these stories were imaginative.
Was this written by L. Ron Hubbard?
It's a documentary. It's not written. It was a bunch of interviews by a bunch of different people of various accreditations and employment. Everything that they lay out in the first half hour is basically aliens, 2 different types of aliens. Well, actually, kind of 3, because there was just the really tall blue-skinned people. There were the lizard
like Avatar?
people. Yeah. There were the lizard people, the tall lizard people, and then the subclass of lizard people.
Well, what's a good conspiracy theory without lizard people?
Right. And all the lizard people live in a whole city. There's this huge city of millions of lizard people living in underground tunnels that are heated by geothermal events in Antarctica. But
For God's sakes, man.
I'm getting
Tell
ahead
me
of
about the
myself.
fucking golf shoes.
What?
That's what Johnny Depp said that at the hotel in Fear and Loathing when the people turned into lizards while he was checking in.
That's right. Yeah, aliens landed thousands of years ago, influenced the Hindus and blah, blah, blah. And then they jumped to Nazi Germany, or, before the war before the full-on World War when America got involved. Plenty of war going on. And the Nazis are getting all this technology from the aliens. For some reason, the aliens have decided that the Nazis are the one that they're going to give all their technology to. And they give them full-on, ships to use and to reverse engineer.
Wait, so now the lizards and the Nazis are co-conspirating?
Yep. And so the lizard people give the Nazis these spaceships. Some of them look like flying saucers, some are triangular, some are more square. And the Nazis use that technology to go into space. Right?
Wait. Now, from lizards to space Nazis.
They have animations of what they... So what they say is that the Nazis, and this is all animated. They're showing these crappy, computer animations of submarines flying through space, because they said they took their first prototypes for space vehicles were just submarines, and they put the anti-gravity technology from the flying saucers they got from the lizard people, and used that to launch the submarine into space.
Whoa! Now there's a space submarine?
There's a space submarine. There's Nazis on the moon. There were Nazis on Mars. So the Nazis got to the moon and to Mars, but they still lost the war. See, this is where your conspiracy theory really falls apart.
Well, they used up all their good ideas to get to space and to Mars, right?
But all those good ideas were the purpose of them were to conquer the world. The lizard people wanted the Nazis to conquer the world. The Nazis wanted to conquer the world.
Well, and it's obvious they knew they were going to lose the war, so they were already on Mars. Right?
Yeah,
they had another planet backed up, ready to go.
They were saying before America even got involved in the war, the Nazis were on Mars and on the moon.
Huh.
Yep. And also, there's another alien race that they don't even dare to identify in here as well. Because, according to some of these people, when we set when we started setting off nuclear weapons, that sent a pulse of energy through this electromagnetic web that goes all throughout the galaxy. And the aliens in the galaxy use this for communication and for travel. This is how they achieve faster than light speed travel. And they showed some pictures of this shit, which is just, I mean, these are actual occurrences. We've seen all these crazy NASA photos of, these crazy clouds that are all multicolored and everything, which, by the way, NASA is coloring, so for contrast. Space doesn't actually look like what it looks like in the Guardians of the Galaxy.
What?
Yeah, afraid to say.
I feel used. Lied to.
And, soon after that, I just couldn't take anymore. There was only so much bullshit I could shove into my brain.
You're like, I'm high, and this sounds crazy to me.
I got to come back to this. Maybe I'll come back to it. I mean, it was entertaining. I'll give it that.
No, you're saying you can't find it, you say.
Yeah, I can't find it. It was called, it was something really weird. I want to say blue or some shade of blue was in the title. And I'm sure that refers to something that happens later on in this 2-hour and 15-minute fucking documentary.
Wow.
Which is all, it's all bad footage interviews and crappy animations.
Well, the things that make it onto... Because the movie my wife was talking about, she found it. It had been reviewed good. My theory is everyone who reviewed it was in the movie. Because it looked like... It was a movie that looked like someone made it on their iPhone.
Oh, yeah?
Like the person who made... nobody knew anything about lighting, how to frame shots. It was just all right. But it's Amazon, right? It's a marketplace. They're probably yeah, whatever, put it up. We'll keep, 20 cents. You keep 80 cents. All right.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that works. I do know that Amazon gets a lot of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Amazon will pretty much take anything as long as it's cheap.
Yeah.
Or free.
Space Nazis. Huh.
Yeah, and apparently, so when we started testing nuclear weapons, that sent a signal to the aliens, right? And
it's time.
What that told them, what it told the aliens was that we had developed advanced technology, but not advanced morality, which it's hard to argue with. And so then we needed to be, kind of reeled in a little bit.
So the aliens are Unleash Order 66?
Well, it wasn't an attack. What they did was, the claim is that there were a couple different incidents of a full armament of nuclear weapons in a facility all just shut down. There was one incident in the U.S., another one somewhere else, and then they said that there was... on one day at the same time, all the nuclear weapons in the U.S. and in Russia just became inoperable. They had a contained meltdown that just ruined the actual nuclear core of the missile.
To sell by this date, and then on the next day, nothing.
Yeah. So that was the aliens basically... nullifying our ammo. Which, I don't know, what would the aliens care? A planet they've never heard of, people they don't know, possibly could kill each other? If you found out that we had that another planet had enough, that they had enough weapons to kill themselves, but not the technology to get off planet, then what would you care?
Yeah. Yeah, just let these people take each other out. All you gotta do is wait them out.
Right, it's like being afraid of a militia that's in Australia.
About secret space program, we can barely operate the things that aren't secret. We're going to have a secret program?
That's the thing. You could almost convince me that there were attempts at interplanetary travel that we don't know about. But to tell me the Nazis had a whole colony on the moon and Mars, had all kinds of spaceships going on in space, and we've never heard any of us. You know, the more people that are involved in the secret, the more impossible it is to keep.
So, don't think when we were on the moon we would have saw that, but let me guess. These people probably... going to go out on a limb here and guess these people are in the moon landing was fake camp.
Yeah. That actually reminds me of this great comic book that I read, too. Image Comics produced, what was it called? The Department of Truth, which is by James Tynan IV and art by Martin Simmons, who I wasn't familiar with, but he's got this great kind of crazy style, kind of painterly. Anyway, the theme of this guy who works for some government organization, his job is to look into all these different types of, weird groups and potential. He keeps an eye, a tab on conspiracy theorists, just to make sure that nobody's getting like radical or anything like that. Basically, he doesn't hold any stock in any of this shit, but he has to go to like flat Earth meetings, conventions, just to observe. Basically,
sounds like a blast.
Yeah, there's worse jobs, I bet. But he gets invited to like these mysterious men in black suits. Start talking to him, and they take him to another location, which is always a bad idea. But he ends up going to this weird party, and everyone's there to everyone files into this room to watch this video, and it's of the moon landing, and it's the footage that we're familiar with, but the dude's like, it's at a slightly different angle. And then you see in the background at this angle, there's a dude standing there in a suit smoking a cigarette with no spacesuit on. And that's supposed to be, what's his name? Stanley Kubrick. Right? Because that's the theory.
That's right, yeah. Kubrick directed the moon landing.
Right. And he's like, what the fuck is this? And then they put him in a plane and they take him to the edge of the Earth. The edge.
Well, right? Hey, let's go hog wild, right? Throw flat Earth into this too.
Well, that's the thing. So then he gets scooped up by a government agent, another secret agency that he wasn't aware of, and they kind of recruit him because he's seen all this shit. And the guy who heads up this organization is actually, weirdly enough, Lee Harvey Oswald.
Of course. Why not?
And they're just throwing everything at the wall. But it's a great comic. So I know
was the organization founded by John Wilkes Booth? Let's go nuts.
Yeah, it may come up. I wouldn't be surprised. But so what he finds out, what Lee Harvey Oswald tells this guy is that what's happening is that none of this stuff is true. Obviously, he's like, I can prove to you. He's like, give me a laser pointer and a couple meter long sticks, and I'll show you the Earth isn't flat. And he's like, but what you saw was the result of mass belief that the organization that knows all that believes all this shit, the fake moon landing and the flat Earth and all that, are actually helping to promote it and helping to behind the scenes fund these flat Earth conventions and stuff like that. Because if they get enough people to believe that it's true, it can become true. Huh? It can become an actual physical manifestation.
Kind of sounds like the way society's wired right now.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Right? I mean, the whole thing's a metaphor for our times currently.
Just say it enough, it'll be true.
There's a new Home Depot now open on Maurice Avenue in Maspeth. And as home improvement projects go, this is a big one. Use the product locator on our app for an in-store map to find what you need fast. And check out our new pickup lockers. They make online shopping a breeze. Of course, one thing's not new, our everyday low prices. The Home Depot, now open near Maurice Avenue and Long Island Expressway in Maspeth, and always open at HomeDepot.com. The Home Depot, how doers get more done. There's a new Home Depot now open on Maurice Avenue in Maspeth, and as home improvement projects go, this is a big one. Use the product locator on our app for an in-store map to find what you need fast. And check out our new pickup lockers. They make online shopping a breeze. Of course, one thing's not new, our everyday low prices. The Home Depot, now open near Maurice Avenue and Long Island Expressway in Maspeth, and always open at HomeDepot.com. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
The Weedsman Podcast.
ChristopherMedia.net.